including your M-Pesa transactions and all other private data that are stored in the Safaricom servers. And this was enabled by the tender they gave to Neuro Technologies of the UK to install a software in the Safaricom system that enables the law enforcement officers to access directly private data belonging to citizens. So today, a police officer at DCI or a police officer from, say, sanctioned headquarters can key in your number on a certain portal and all your details would appear, and they would be able to triangulate you to your nearest location. And that is how the police officers and the DCI have been arresting Kenyans, abducting and torturing the rest of us. I am speaking this as an activist because this is something that pained me and discomforted me. That the telecommunications company we gave too much mandate, we've given all our privacy to, has been conniving with the government to sell us out. And for 12 years. So we've been slaves for 12 years. 12 years a slave. It is retrogressive. It is discomforting. It is disheartening. It is unthinkable. It is unbelievable. Nation media took their time, an entire month. They talked to security experts, forensic experts, they talked to technicians, they talked to police officers, they talked to employees at Safaricom, and they compiled a report on how Safaricom has been giving misleading, false and inconsistent data, especially when we are actively searching for Kenyans who've been abducted or who have been missing. For 12 years, you would imagine that. And Safaricom gave access to the Kenya police and the law enforcement a long time ago to access our private data for 12 years now. That is something that we cannot condone as Kenyans. Moving forward, we either should boycott Safaricom, draft a petition against this draconian and repressive act that Safaricom has been perpetrating for years, because it is within their knowledge. It is not something new, it is something they know. Or we should hit the streets to boycott this Safaricom. We should remind them that we are the ones that give them that power. We are the investors, we are the customers in Safaricom. Without us, Safaricom would not exist. Perhaps it's about time we think of an alternative telecommunications company, like for example Airtel or Orange or You or the Starlink. I mean, some Kenyans would be happy if Elon Musk gave us SIM cards so that we would swap from Safaricom to Starlink. Because Safaricom has sold us out, and Safaricom has been a criminal for some time. It has some criminal element in it, because this is a violation to the privacy of Kenyan citizens, and it is unconstitutional. Today, the US ambassador, Meg Whitman, said she does not support the violation of the privacy of Kenyans. But she has had all this knowledge. She knows how Safaricom has been selling us out, but she never spoke before. So we are not buying reactionary politics. We are not buying that. Meg Whitman was silent when Gen Zs were being murdered on the streets, when we are being detained without trial, when we are being tortured and clobbered on the streets. She was silent. In fact, she boarded the next plane to the US. She should keep quiet even now. We lost trust in the US ambassador, and we are losing trust in the United States of America. It is not an ally as we thought. CIA and FBI have aired all this information for all these years, but they have never said it is bad. I mean, it is so bad that our rights and our privacy has been violated this bad. I cannot find words enough to explain and to express my discomfort with all this information. We need to deal with Safaricom, and as soon as possible. There's one guy I would also like to address. One guy who's been coming to this Bunge la Wananchi of late to sanitize himself and to propagate tribal politics. That guy is Gaucho. Gaucho umepoteza kasmo. You took I cannot say an innocent boy, you took a naive boy from a Gen Z movement and brought him into your tribal politics. Today, Kasmuel sings choir for Raila Odinga and for ODM. It is so sad. And it is sad Gaucho is actively looking for other activists who are focused to derail them from the core mandate of oversighting government and fighting for a better Kenya, so that they may go support Raila Odinga and that moribund ODM party. It is about time we start talking about these things. Gaucho is too tribal and is part of the old political elite that is so entangled and tied with politics of tribalism, and he does not want to change. He does not want to outgrow that. And Gaucho is not stupid. He knows what he is doing is retrogressive, but he is busy propagating politics of tribalism against Kikuyus and praising Luos and Kalenjins now because Raila Odinga, a Luo, is in government. It is absurd. Gaucho is not even old. He's a young man like most of us. I cannot understand why his psychophancy knows no boundaries. Why he's so obsessed with supporting Raila Odinga and why he's so obsessed with supporting Ruto just because Raila has told him to support Ruto. It is about time young people in this country start making decisions on their own behalf, because Gaucho is making decisions after being informed by the party and by the party leader. He does not make decisions for himself and by himself. We've seen leaders who make decisions by themselves for themselves, like Babu Owino and Sifuna. I cannot major on Sifuna, but we've seen Babu Owino differ with the party on what he thinks should be right. ODM should not be in government, but this party has been usurped into government, and Ruto is cannibalizing all these political parties, and they will merge them into one party. There is pressure to Wetangula to resign as party leader of Ford Kenya so that Ford Kenya becomes part of government. That is bad, and we need to denounce these things, and we need to denounce this hypocrisy. We need to stand together as young people to fight for better governance, to fight against tribalism, to fight against corruption, and to fight for a better country. Hatufai kunyamaza wakati Safaricom inatufanyia hivi. Hatufai kunyamaza wakati Adani inachukua nchi. Hatufai kunyamaza wakati Ruto anarani nchi kama kiosk. Hatufai kunyamaza wakati vyama vya upinzani na activist wananyanyaswa, na wakati vyama vya upinzani vinashikana na serikali na kwenda kitanda moja ili kunyanyasa Wakenya wenzao. You people saw that bill by Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, the bill that wants to legalize party hopping, that today you would be elected by the ODM party na kesho umeenda kuingia UDA. What kind of nonsense is that? The bills that are being passed by some of these senators and these MPs are ridiculous. I don't know the relationship between Cherargei and Cheruiyot, but they all sound the same to me. They sound redundant for people I thought were intelligent.
Before you go, I've heard you touching about the ghetto president Gaucho. According to the speech that he made on the Bunge la Mwananchi today, Gaucho said that initially they were really suffering at the andamano, carrying the sufurias on their head, and he just said that it's now their time to reap, being that their leader is now on the side of the government. Do you think that is the right way to go for the Gen Zs or for the young people, according to you?
Gaucho knows he is in it for his stomach, and he knows Raila Odinga and most of these ODM leaders and their supporters are in the government for their stomachs. They know Ruto will not deliver anything. That they know. And they know Ruto is not the savior Kenyans were waiting for. That they know. And their conscience tells them that this is not the government we wanted, and this is not the government the country wants. But they are there for their own interests. Gaucho is there for his own interests. Gaucho has miraculously become a man-made guy. Left, right, hapa pale, just after associating with Raila and with the government. This sycophancy cannot help Gen Zs. This sycophancy cannot help Kenyans and the young people. We need to rise above these shenanigans and these bootlicking of politicians and political parties, because these political parties are kiosks to certain individuals, and they serve their own interests. Look at a party like ODM serving the entire interest of Raila Amolo Odinga because he's the party leader. I would want to see a day when Raila Odinga would not be in active politics. When he will retire, that is when this party will start being objective. Most of the parties that are objective, say the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, are objective because their party leaders are no longer controlling these parties. Unless we have that, all our political parties will always be controlled.
You being one of the Gen Zs, are you still planning to remain the faceless, or you're planning to, coming the next general election, do you think you'll come up with your own party? Because as the time goes by, Gen Zs are really complaining. What's your plan?
We need structures that I will agree with. We've remained leaderless and faceless for some time, but that will not work for a long-term solution. That would have been a short-term solution. You see, every problem has a short-term and a long-term solution. The short-term solution was to have a movement that will possibly bring a revolution to this country and possibly push the president to resign. The long-term solution is always vying for elective offices. We need to vie for elective offices, and every Gen Z out there who is interested in politics should, as early as today, start building their brand. We need these young people representing us at the helm of this country, because we've seen that structural changes can only be effected at positions of power. I can rant and protest for years and years and years, but to pass a good law, to pass a good legislation, I would have to be a senator or an MP. We need to take control of these offices, to take control of our laws, and to take control of our finances as a country.
Thank you so much.